Show.
Hey, yo, I'm back. As we all know, I'm prolific at this. Not bragging, just making a statement of fact. So, anyway, yeah, we're gonna do a video here on something. Frank, the drawing winner, the 300 drawing winner, suggested this one, and I thought it was a really good idea. And it kind of gives me a chance to show some stuff that I haven't really showed together. I've shown them in like pieces, and a lot of people probably haven't seen most of these. So now some of them you've probably seen more than once, but these are kind of unique copies of some comics. And then I've got a shitty package. Chonko cries about packaging. I know you love it. So we'll open that last. But some housekeeping stuff. Boxes, packages went out today to everyone except Matt and TM Nerdy, because since you guys are in Canada, I got to go to the post office and I got to fill out this in triplicate form, and it's like, yeah, I got to sit there, and I work during the day and it's hard. It's kind of, but I'm doing it. They're packed. Your stuff's coming. It's just, it's the goofy customs form is really the only thing that kind of bottlenecks that. Everything else went out FedEx, so everybody should be getting their stuff, I don't know, Thursday or Friday, I'm thinking. So yeah, Chonko swag, AOKs and comics and blah blah blah. Yeah, I think everybody will be happy with the stuff they get. I hope they are. I really tried to put some stuff together. A couple are just before anybody gives me shit. There are a couple. If I'm just sent you a shirt and some stickers, those just went out in a bubble wrap mailer. I know I bitch about that when people do it with comics, but with a T-shirt or something, that's fine. You can roll that thing up. It's totally fine. It's not ruining a comic. So anyway, save me some money, because I literally sent out, like, including eBay purchases. I think I sent out 13 packages, or with the two that are still coming. Yeah, it took me a while, but anyway, yeah, let's get into this video. Yeah, so there are different types of these comics that you can get there, where they have some unique distinction that really kind of sets them apart from other comics, and wanted to go over kind of the difference in these, and the reason why they're distinctive. So pull out some stuff here. So the first type I was going to go over are comics that come from a special collection, which are not a pedigree. So, as I understand it, these are usually something where it came from one specific auction. It's an auction of a specific collector's, usually a really important collector's, where they have a really important collection. They auction off their whole collection. They put a sticker on that slab. I think a lot of times this comes through like Heritage. They'll do this, but it doesn't qualify for a pedigree. To qualify for a pedigree, my understanding is it has to be well established that person just bought those comics, like raw, ungraded, didn't trade for them. They were a collection that one collector just put together by going and buying them at comic shops or newsstands or whatever. So that's kind of the distinction. But if it's somebody who was an established collector, who, as most of us are, where you're buying, selling, trading comics, and they're kind of going, across the country or something, that doesn't count. But you could still qualify for something where you would get a very special collection. I mean, I think there are a few people just in the comic book community. Steven, for sure, would have, like, if at any time Steven decided to get out of it and sold his collection through Heritage, he would absolutely, I think absolutely, without question, he would have the really cool sticker on his collection with his name on it. But again, since you're trading and stuff comics, I don't think that qualifies for a pedigree. Anyway, these types of collections. I have a couple of them. It's one I got earlier in the year, and it's a really cool one. This is from the Richard Anderson collection. Richard Anderson was a collector where Heritage auctioned his collection last year in 2024. And this is a Walt Disney Comics and Stories, number 159, Dell Publishing from 1953. And yeah, this is Carl Barks story, cover, and art. So this is all Carl Barks, which makes this highly collectible. And then you can see there's like this little sticker here. This is what would be put on at the auction when they auction this collection to set it apart and make it distinctive. So that's a really, really cool thing. And it's Carl Barks, which anybody, if you're heavy into comics, you're aware of Carl Barks and the greatness of Carl Barks and the Carl Barks story. If you haven't, if you're not familiar with it, you should familiarize yourself with Carl Barks because he's an important comic figure and one of the greats. And at one time was probably the most read, most purchased comic book creator on the planet. Like when you took in the totality of the whole world, and was anonymous for many, many, many years until he was tracked down. And like they didn't give him any credit on a lot of these comics for many years. There are a couple good YouTube videos on Carl Barks. You should check them out and familiarize yourself. Huge, a giant in comic books. Anyway, second one is one I've shown that I got fairly recently, a couple months ago, and this is Voodoo number 1. This is from the Ruben Blades collection. Ruben Blades is the actor. He was in Predator, I think Predator 2, and he was also in a lot of like kind of mafioso movies. If you go on YouTube, there's a good preview of Ruben Blades going through his collection. Really was way before his time. He was collecting like pre-code horror in like the 90s when nobody else was, or very few people were. And this is one of those. And this is this is a Matt Baker cover, and this is Voodoo number 1, Matt Baker cover and art. And interesting because Matt Baker did not do much pre-code. I think there's only 3 or 4 of them total that Matt Baker did. So yeah, for Matt Baker collectors, that's a good one. Yeah, Voodoo number 1. And then we get into what we call file copies. File copies were copies that were kept by the publisher. And a lot of times, like when you get into like Gold and Silver Age file copies, they were kept literally in a file cabinet at the publisher. And these were for reference. If the publisher or one of the creators or something wanted to go back and refer to a comic, something for continuity or for specific art, or just to go back and say, hey, what happened in that issue, or anything, any reference that they wanted, they would have it there. And yeah, there are still file copies kept, but I think they're rarer now. But I think mostly it's probably independents that are keeping the file copies. But this is an example of one. This is a reprint of Cerebus number 1. It's called Cerebus Archive number 1, from 2009, and this is from Dave Sims' file, so from the Aardvark Vanheim file, and it's also signed by Dave Sims. So I showed this recently, but yeah, right there's Dave's signature, and yeah, file copy. So always cool to get a file copy. And then I have another file copy. This was one that was on Comic Link for auction, and it's one I always say people don't pay attention to auctions. Sometimes they'll just be like, just look at what it is, and they don't pay attention to to the fact that it could be special. And this is Witch's Tales number 27. As everyone knows, I'm trying to put together the entire Witch's Tales run, and this is from 1954. It's a Lee cover, and it is yeah, it's a Harvey file copy. So yeah, this would have been the file copy kept at Harvey Comics for Witch's Tales 27. Yep. So that's a really cool thing. Somebody being buried alive. As you do in the Golden Age, you're burying people alive. Happens all the time. People getting hung, people getting buried, people getting burned alive, shot, whatever, mangled, whatever they're doing. Then we get into my pedigrees. And so pedigrees are a little different. Pedigrees are, it's usually a collection that was found all together. Like it was located all together. It came from a specific collector who purchased all of those issues. They bought them and stored them. I believe it's always or almost always like raw copies, and they were issues that specific person bought. They weren't traded for, or they weren't doing that when they're with their collection. So it's just that person went to whatever store and bought that copy for all of those pedigree. And this is this is from the Savannah pedigree. And Savannah is it's famous for, if I'm getting the story right, it was mostly Bronze Age and a lot of Bronze Age horror. So this is a Savannah pedigree for Weird Mystery Tales number 10 and a 9.0. And that cool. Man, I should have used this for a water cover last week, right? Or the other day. It's a cool water cover. Two people drowning. Weird Mystery, a great title. And then I have a couple mass copies, would be short for like Massachusetts. And these were, I think this is one of the largest pedigrees for the Massachusetts, and it's this is Ghosts number 59 from 1977 from the Massachusetts collection. And it's got the cool like snow monster. They're just coming out of a mine, and he's stealing some gold, but out of the mine or something, and the monster's about to get him. So awesome. Then we get into some bigger ones that I have, and this is another Massachusetts copy, and this is Ghost number 73 from 1979. So yeah, awesome Bronze Age horror. But this one's really cool because this is a 9.8 pedigree Bronze Age horror. So yeah, 1979. So yeah, you're kind of hitting some good stuff there. There are not many 9.8s of Ghosts from 1979. There was not very many. And in a pedigree, most of the time these are going to be unique. There are a couple pedigrees where they had more than one copy of some of them, but most of them, when you run into it, it's the only one that exists. And this is an example. This is the only one that exists of this. So, and like we established, I am collecting the Witch's Tales run. This is an early Witch's Tales. This is from 1952, and this is the Northford pedigree. I've shown this before. But yeah, Witch's Tales number 7 in an 8.5, which is for Golden Age comics, 1952. That is huge, and in a pedigree, Northford pedigree, it's distinctive. For one thing you can always find if you find them, they have this circle X always on the back cover. Every Northford pedigree has that. Certain pedigrees have a certain mark that distinguishes that as a pedigree, and Northford's one of those. And Northford, from what I remember, also was mostly Golden Age and had a lot of Golden Age horror to it. So Yeah, if you find a raw Golden Age book, check it. Check the back cover because it could have the Northford pedigree thing, and you get that slab and you get your fantastic, cool gold label. And the last one's my big one. This is uh probably the biggest copy I have. This is probably the biggest comic I have. It's not the one I paid the most for because I think I got it. I think I stole this. I think I got this for less than a third of what it's actually worth. But this is another time when I got this. It had a blue label on it, and it had said that it was a pedigree, but the really the older slabs didn't have a identifying label where it said it was gold. It would say that it was a pedigree, but you couldn't distinguish it unless you paid close attention, and then they came up with the gold label. So this was reslabbed recently at C2E2. This is Shadow Comics version 2, the second edition, number 10 from Street and Smith, and this is a Crawley copy, which is really cool, and it's a 7.0 in 1943, and the 7.0 pedigree is in a Shadow Comics with the cool skull cover. There are many collectible things about this, and I think this is worth a lot more than I paid for it. Crawley, he worked for Fawcett, different comic company, but he would go and collect copies of competing comics and keep them on hand, and would refer to them, as seeing what the competition was doing. And he always kept 2 copies. So of this pedigree of this comic, there might be another one. It's not identified if there is. It's very likely it didn't survive. When you get into the Golden Age, especially you get into the 1940s, many of these comics didn't survive. Even in the pedigrees, they're gone. So it's possible someone has this out there. It's also possible, even if someone has one, it's not identified as a pedigree, and at this point it won't be. There's not a distinguishing mark for this pedigree. If you don't have kind of the provenance and something to establish that, that part of its history will probably be lost. So this, while there could have been another copy, it's very unlikely that another one will surface and get the gold label now. So, yeah, so that's it. That's it for my kind of special comics, unique collection comics, the file copies, and my pedigrees. I hope to get some more, but it's one of those things that you kind of got to take the opportunity when it strikes. You can't hem and haw about it. You gotta grab it if it's available, because it's likely you'll never see that again. It's even when it gets to any of the rare comics, that Shadow Comics, I believe there are 22 unrestored on census, and I have one, and Steppo Steven has one, which means there's 20 out in the wild, maybe. I mean, we don't even know that those are around. So you start to get into that when you get that old. There are very few remaining. So, all right, 18 minutes. We got time, I guess. Look at this. Look what this dickhead did. This is bad packaging. Bad packaging. Chonko cries about packaging. This is Omar from Los Angeles in this stupid bent cardboard envelope. I can feel this. It's not even reinforced. It's just the dickhead. My God. All right. Well, let's open it. I mean, it's just so dumb. I mean, oh yeah, I can see what it is. It's just the bag and board comic inside this cardboard mailer that Dum Dum sent. Oh, look, he reinforced it. That'll be okay. You jackass. What a joke. I mean, the comic looks like it's okay. I mean, it's in a bag that's too big. Of course. But anyway, I saw Alan show this and I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was like everything that's cool, but uh, it's Tor Love Betty, and it's Betty Page and Tor from Plan 9 from Outer Space. This is amazing, and I had to get it. So yeah, Tor Love Betty, cheesecake humor with a teaspoon of horror. So that's great. Even if the piece of garbage can't ship worth a lick, at least I got a cool comic out of it. But I'm not gonna cry too hard. Not today. Not today. Not today. You can't step on my sunshine. Ain't nobody gonna hold me down. I got to keep a moving. Yeah, that's the entertainment you get here. Bad 80s song references, and Chonko trying to sing when it's not a punk rock song is not going to go well. Anyway, that's all I got. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. Hope all the people in your life are doing well. We're making it through. You're going to be okay. The weekend's not that far away. I mean, it seems like it is, but it's not. That's all I have for now. 21 minutes or so. Bye, 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 bye.